The conductors attract each other since they carry current in same direction. Whenever current flows through a conductor, they repel each other if current flows in the opposite direction. What is M? Magnetic dipole moment. What was E? Electric field strength. What is B? Magnetic field strength. Do I know the expression for magnetic field due to a straight conductor? Yes, sir. Mr. Amperian has done that. There has to be a magnetic field around it. Very good. Hello students, this is SD Sir again from the Temple of Excellence, Vidyashram PU College, Mysore. What was the highlight of my previous session? In my last class, dear students, we learnt Ampere's circuit law. A very important law which stated that the line integral of the magnetic field about a closed path is mu naught times the net current threading to that closed path or flowing through that closed path. And we also applied Ampere's circuit law to derive expression for magnetic field in case of a straight conductor, in case of a solenoid, and using that as a heap, I had asked you all to derive expression for magnetic field due to a toroid. What is that? I have in store today a very, very important derivation which was also asked as a 5 marker in the 2020 exam. So let us pitch in and see what bookwork are we covering in today's session. My dear students, today we derive expression for force. Remember, we are deriving expression for force between two parallel conductors. Expression for force between two parallel conductors carrying current. I will consider two long, straight, infinite parallel conductors which carry current and hence derive an expression for force between them, and based on that expression I shall define something called as Ampere. So without time lag, as we tell in physics, I start doing the mathematical derivation. Assumptions first. P and Q are two long parallel conductors. I require two long parallel conductors. So P and Q are two long parallel conductors separated by a distance d. Both these conductors are separated by a distance d and they carry currents I1 and I2 respectively. So I1 and I2 are the currents flowing through them respectively. So what is my initial consideration? Two long parallel conductors, infinitely long parallel conductors. Which are they? P and Q. What is the distance of separation between them? D. And the most important characteristic feature, they carry currents I1 and I2 as shown respectively. Now comes the core of the derivation. Now, if you observe, there is a current I1 flowing through the conductor P. I repeat, my dear students, again. I1 is the current which flows through the conductor P. So what is the immediate consequence? What did Oyster say? Whenever current flows through a conductor, there has to be a magnetic field around it. Very good. Wherever I have a current carrying conductor, a magnetic field has to be created around it. So I1 is the current flowing through the conductor P. As a consequence, there has to be a magnetic field around the conductor Q. Magnetic effect of electric current. Therefore, the magnetic field produced by P, magnetic field produced by P around the conductor Q, who is creating the magnetic field P, where around the conductor Q due to the current I1. So magnetic field around the conductor Q created by the conductor P due to the current I1. What is the shape of the conductor P, students? Sir, it is a straight conductor. Do I know the expression for magnetic field due to a straight conductor? Yes, sir. Mr. Amperian has done that. And that magnetic field is given by mu naught divided by 4 pi 2 I1 divided by d. What is I1? Current flowing through the conductor, creating a magnetic field around it. D, distance between the two conductors P and Q. Therefore, dear students, now what is B1? Magnetic field around the conductor Q. Who has created that magnetic field? Current I1, which is flowing through P. And what is its magnitude? B1 equals mu naught by 4 pi 2I1 by D. Now an interesting consequence. The conductor Q carrying current I2 is placed in a magnetic field B1. Very important thought. The conductor Q carrying current I2 is placed in a magnetic field B1. There is a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Which is that conductor? The conductor is Q. What is the current flowing through it? I2. What is the strength of the field it is placed? B1. Then what should happen, friends? Earlier I told the conductor should experience some force because of the field. There is a current carrying conductor in the magnetic field. So I say, a certain segment of the conductor, some part of the conductor, certain region of the conductor whose length is L experiences a magnetic force given by. Can you recall the expression for magnetic force on a conductor? Yes, it is F equals B IL sin theta, force acting on a conductor. If it was a charged particle, very simple, sir. Q V B sin theta. Since it is a current carrying conductor, B I L sin theta. So this segment L of the conductor Q experiences a magnetic force given by F. Now that F I call as F1, force on the conductor Q, equals, what is the magnetic field it is placed? B1. What is the current flowing through Q? I2. What is the length of the segment? L sin theta. So this is the force acting on the conductor Q. Now, therefore, F equals, or F1 equals, what is B1? Mu naught by 4 pi I2 L sin theta. So substituting here, I can write F1 is equal to B1. B1 is already calculated here. So it is mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 by D. Again I have I2 into L, and I call this equation 1. So equation 1 gives me the magnetic force acting on the conductor Q. The direction of F1, as we have studied very early in this chapter, is according to Fleming's left hand rule. F1 is perpendicular, or the force is perpendicular to the magnetic field and the velocity of the moving charge. The second part of the derivation is the vice versa of the first, which means now there is a current I2 which is flowing through the conductor Q. The second part of the derivation is an extension of whatever I did in the first part. So there is a current I2 which is flowing through the conductor Q. So what should happen? It should also in turn create a magnetic field around P, as we had in the first case. Now the current I2 which is flowing through the conductor Q creates a magnetic field around the conductor P, and that is again given by B2 is mu naught by 4 pi 2 I2 divided by D, because B2 is the magnetic field created around P due to current I2. So B2 is mu naught by 4 pi 2 I2 by D. Very similarly now, I1 is the current flowing through P. It is placed in the magnetic field B2 as we had earlier. Now the conductor P is carrying current I1 which is placed in the magnetic field B2. As my earlier case, again certain length of P should experience a magnetic force given by F2 equals B2 I1 L sin theta. Now again substituting, F2 equals magnitude of B2 is mu naught by 4 pi 2 I2 divided by D. There is an I1 into L. Sin should always be maximum. So this is the force acting on the conductor P. Therefore, now comes a very critical 1 mark question. If you have seen the diagram, P and Q are carrying currents I1 and I2 flowing in the same direction. My dear students, observe the diagram. I1 and I2, which are the current flowing in the same direction, P and Q. Therefore, we say that two long parallel conductors, two long parallel conductors attract each other. They experience attraction if they carry current in the same direction. Please do note this, a defining point of the derivation. Two long parallel conductors, they attract each other if they carry current in the same direction. They repel each other if current flows in the opposite direction. Please do keep this in mind. Therefore, force per unit length of each conductor. Note, this is force per unit length. If you observe, the length of this segment is L in both equations 1 and 2. I want force per unit length. L and L gets cancelled. Per unit length. Therefore, what remains? F equals mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 I2 divided by D. A very defined expression, students. Force between two long parallel conductors carrying current. So F equals mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 I2 by D. So as the first part of the bookwork, I have calculated the force between two conductors carrying current. Now, using this expression for force, I'll define ampere. What is ampere, students? The practical unit of measuring the strength of the current, ampere. Now, from my derivation, I know force between two parallel conductors is mu naught divided by 4 pi 2 I1 I2 divided by D. Now, in order to define ampere, I make unitary conditions where I say, if both I1 and I2 is equal to 1 ampere, the strength of both the currents, either I1 or I2, 1 ampere, and D is 1 meter. How much is I1 and I2? 1 ampere. D 1 meter. Then what happens to this expression? I1 and I2 is 1, D is 1. So F is mu naught by 4 pi into 2. Or when I simplify this, F is, value of mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 divided by 4 pi into 2, or F is 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter. Then what is ampere? 1 ampere is that current. Very clearly it has to be current. Is that current which, if maintained in two long parallel conductors separated by 1 meter distance, ampere is the current flowing through two long parallel conductors separated by 1 meter distance in free space. If it is not free space, mu naught doesn't come into picture. So which is the medium in which it is placed? Free space causes a force of 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton on each meter length. So this is the definition of ampere. Now students, proceeding further, two small related topics. Magnetic dipole, moment of a moving charge. You are already familiar with electric dipole moment associated with the electric fields. Now we shall study magnetic dipole moments associated with the magnetic fields. Yes. When current flows through a circular loop, magnetic field is created around it. I have a circular loop. Current is flowing through that circular loop. Magnetic field is created around it. Circular loop matra yake? Any shape of the conductor, when current flows through it, there has to be a magnetic field. Now current is flowing through a circular loop-shaped conductor, coil-shaped conductor, and hence a magnetic field is created, and this magnetic field will give rise to something called magnetic moment. So moment, rotation, turning, this magnetic moment is because of the magnetic field around a circular loop. And mathematically, it is defined as vector m equals I vector A. It is a dot product. Magnetic moment is I dot vector A. What is I? The strength of the current flowing in that loop. What is vector A? Area of the given element, area of that circular loop. Their product is called magnetic moment. My dear students, the moment you have moment, see the rhyme. What should come into picture? Rotations and takshna yen barbeko. There has to be a torque. And the torque acting on this loop is given by tau equals mb sin theta. Compare it with electric field. Tau equals P E sin theta. What was P here? Electric dipole moment. What is M? Magnetic dipole moment. What was E? Electric field strength. What is B? Magnetic field strength. See the beautiful comparison. So torque acting on the loop carrying current is given by tau equals mb sin theta. What is m? I into a. So torque is given by IAB sin theta. And what is the unit of magnetic dipole moment? Current is ampere. So ampere, area is meter square. So ampere meter square is the unit for dipole moment. So now we got the expression for magnetic dipole moment, result of the magnetic field inside a closed loop, I dot A, current flowing through that loop into the area element, torque mb sin theta, where m is IAB sin theta. Hope you people have followed the expression for force between two long parallel conductors. Remember, the conductors attract each other since they carry current in same direction. We have got expression for magnetic dipole moment and the expression for torque. Revise them thoroughly. In the next session, I'll come up with a beautiful concept called moving coil galvanometer. Until then, stay safe. Thank you.